Ïing Dorbar jong ke Jylla Meghalaya, ha ke Simbaar jong Dorbar Senrai, kelak Kynmaw Burom gerpang ya ke Jingkhlad berkendit no jong MLE Kynmaw Plang, ubak sentar kelas Sunn. Bar ke Jingkhlad jong MLE ha pedeng jong ke Dorbar, kadai ha ke Sin beringkong ha ke Jylla. Menteri ramba ke Jylla ukondot ki sama ula penpau ke Jingkendit, ya ke Jingkhlad berkendit ubak SK Sunn. Bar penpau ru ke Jingkenduk ke Bakrau ya ke Ïing Dorbar Thawan. Ulong bakidon ki motion bela arak do MLE Kynmaw Plang, ha ke Dorbar mangtingka. Badai menyatai biang mentah kesngi. Ulong shishu bakamyar bandan ki MLA ki ba kumu ba SK Sunn. Nomor ura ikimat ki ba kata ke Jylla. Bad udai balapan krep ha yaladi ha bawan ra kano ke jingatai ni jingkli ha po ke Dorbar. Ke ba om jukhamdan na ki weipat ki nomi kmat. Na kalyang nong ilam kalyang persya Dr. Mukul sama ulong ba kalong ke jingthang ki pat ba Kynmaw Plang ba ki ing kesem. Nomor ke jingkhlad bang pai berkat jung MLA. Ulong banadu bolong chief engineer ke tanah PHE udi ubriu basim kia bha bad ba pelet jingmat bha ya ke kam kum officer u Dr. Mukul ulong bo ba SK Sunn kum nomi khmat pa ba jukren tangi ki jing e jeng ke constituency ne wanra ya ke jing tai ki bakta ya ke Jylla bro ke wei ha ke ba ula pun pau bo sngu tanat ban sngap ya ke jing tai ba wanra do ba SK Sunn pa Ïing Dorbar na kalyang sembut menteri ramba ke Jylla ba presiden song ulong ba kalong ke jingdo ke bakrau ya ke Jylla watang hapo license shitting ke Jingkhlad hadu sangut kit khon ke ba ompat juja hagi por beladem ulong bom shimla ngit haba yo ya ke jingtip oba SK Sunn ula khlan no namar dang kumba khar singi e dong let benya kundu a kamra na ke benta ki kam penroi hapo ke konsensi ba presiden ubadiru menteri ke tanah ke khia ula yathu bola kuntu yu ba Sunn bun IT kano kam kloi hakaba UML ru ula kular ban le no kloi ulong shishu boba SK Sunn ula no senyang shibun ya ke Jylla naduk bulong uhe officer jeng tanat PHE markumjo kumu beriu ubai ye ya ke jingin akai football bela prat lenti ki bobon ki samla ke Jylla kibai ki bela shimenta ban kren ha ke Kynmaw Burom ki kentuk uba Charles Pingrok uba Lakmen Rembui uba PT Saukmi uba Renekton El Tongkhar uba HM Sangpliang uba Hamlet Sandoling uba Meralbon Sim Zenit M Sangma uba AL Hek uba Adelbot Nongrum uba Lambor Marngyang Ferlin CE Sangma Wailat Meki Shilla, Dr. M. Amprin Lingdo, Miani D. Shira, Desket Bha Lamari, SG Esmatur Momin, Saleng E. Sangma, Lazarus M. Sangma, Ba George B. Lingdo, Ba Ulampang Ïing Dorbar, Ba Ahmed Ba Lingdo.
Honorable Speaker, sir, it is with a very heavy heart that not just me, but I'm sure the entire House is here today. When last week, right after the session began, towards the late afternoon, the sad news came to us of the sudden demise of one of the sitting members of this House, late Shri SK Sunn. I was asking our Honorable Leader of Opposition, who has been in this House, I think longer than any other member, that whether there was ever an occasion where a sitting member passed away while the House was in session. And he was telling me, fortunately, that never happened in the past. And this is most probably the first time in the history of this House that a sitting member has passed away while the House was in session. Sir, it pains me, and I'm sure each and every one, to be standing here today and looking at that empty chair of late SK Sunn, a person who had been with us for the past 3.5 years in this House. And I think, needless to say, every member in this House will remember his contribution to this House and his contribution to his constituency and to the state as a whole, especially with the deliberations that he used to bring to this House. I was even prepared today because there was a special motion that was brought in by late S.K. Sunn. And since that motion could not be taken up last time, it was supposed to be continued today. And after the question hour, and after the other 0-hour notice and call attention motions and other short discussions, late S.K. Sunn was supposed to speak again today in this House. So it is indeed, sir, very shocking what happened last week. I was sharing with some of our members that when it came to questions, when it came to motions, resolutions, or any kind of debate in this House, I don't think there were many as like him who used to do their homework in detail. In fact, we used to joke with some of our friends that he already had the answers to the questions he was asking. And when he used to ask the questions, he was fully prepared with the reply also. That is the kind of person that he was. And it's a great loss to this House because of the kind of material, the kind of inputs, and the kind of debate, high level of debate that he used to bring to this House with facts, figures, proper homework documentation. That will be a great loss for the House and for the state as a whole. So I remember him even as a chief engineer. That time I was, I think I'd lost my election. And there were some small works and requests that I had. So I used to go to his office once in a while to meet him. And I remember the kind of respect that he used to give. Even while a meeting is going on, he would cut short his meeting and call me into the room, speak to me, help me out, and resolve the issues that I used to have. That is the kind of personality he had, the kind of person who was always eager, I should say, to help everybody, and would never judge a person based on a position a person had or did not have. And that's the kind of experience that I had with him. And the respect he showed to me during those times is something that I never forgot. And therefore, whenever he used to come to me in recent times, I used to make sure that I would give the same respect to him. I would make sure that the issues that he had were resolved at the earliest for the questions and the issues that he had for his constituency. So therefore, not just as a legislator, sir, but even as a human being, he was a very, very good man and a person who always respected everybody, no matter what position you had or did not have. So therefore, I have very, very fond memories of him. In fact, the last time I met him was just about 15 days back. And I remember him coming to my room. And as usual, he was very prepared. And unlike other individuals maybe who will come and they'll sit down and chit-chat and discuss, I've seen that Sunn was a kind of person who would come, talk to the point, finish his work in 2 minutes. If he saw that I had time, he would sit and have a cup of tea. If he saw that I was busy, he would say, my work is done, so I will leave. So that day, the same thing happened. I was very busy. He came in. He just gave me 2-3 issues which he wanted me to take up. I assured him that I will resolve those issues. And within 60 seconds after giving the documents to me, he said, my work is done, so I'll go ahead because you're quite busy. So that was the last memory I had or our last meeting I had of him. And really, sir, we all, I think, all of us have got very fond memories. I remember last time also when we were having this discussion, the special motion which he had brought on the boundary and the border issue. He went into the details of all the facts of all the last 25 plus meetings that took place between the chief ministers and the chief secretaries of Assam and Meghalaya. And I was planning that while I replied to his motion, I was planning that I would start off by saying that most of the issues have already been, facts have been brought out by you already, so my homework has been reduced, is what I had planned that I will say today, and of course address the concerns that he had. But unfortunately, that opportunity will not come. And as I said, we all are very shocked with the news that came in. At this point in time, I'm sure that the people of his constituency, his family members, his friends, all must be shocked and saddened by what happened in such a short time. Nobody have expected it. I would like to express my deepest condolences to his family members, especially his wife and his children, and also to his constituency people who must be missing him, a person who has been very, very committed to his constituency and to his people. And therefore, it's a great loss for not just his family, not just for this house, but also for his constituency people, sir. Therefore, I'm sure many of our friends today will want to pay their respects to him, would want to participate in this. So I will not prolong my speech here. I once again express my condolences, sir, to the bereaved family members. And I pray to Almighty that He may give strength to the family members especially, and all these friends, so that they can bear this great loss that they've had, sir. With these few words, sir, I would resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I also join the Leader of the House in condoling the untimely, unexpected demise of one of our dear colleagues of this August House, late S.K. Sunn. How strange life is. It's very difficult to reconcile, because as human, sometimes it's beyond our power of comprehension as to how one can have so much of element of surprises in the course of the life of a person. Having said this, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's beyond our control, and we have lost one of our dearest colleagues. How painful it has been for the electorates and the family members, we can easily understand. And as colleagues of this August House, to have one of our members who suddenly leaves us during the time of session, yes, it's unprecedented. Therefore, with heavy heart, I join the Leader of the House in conveying our deepest condolences to the wife and children of late Sunn, and also to all the loved ones of the family, and all those who are associated with him, particularly the electorates. I have known him for a very, very long time, ever since I got elected in 1993. The first time that I met him was when I went to Mauplang and wanted to see the intake point of the greater Shillong water supply scheme. And immediately as I reached, he promptly appeared there. Beautifully maintained assets. I think all our friends will agree that that is one of the assets which has been maintained so appropriately, reflecting the asset as an asset of a government. Because elsewhere we will see that government assets are the most dilapidated. And anybody can actually recognize a government asset by looking at the look of the assets. But Mauplang, the assets created is very different, including the location. So he was there, that's the first time I met him. And subsequently, as during the innings of my political career, we had to, on a number of occasions, meet during the course of our discussion, official discussions, official reviews. I could see him as to how he was focused on the work that was assigned to him. And one thing I observed was that whenever an issue was brought before him, even while he was occupying the office of the chief engineer, he would personally assure that he will go to the spot, he will go to the site and see as to how things should be corrected. It was also one of his qualities that whenever the department is asked to submit proposals, he would personally ensure that the DPRs are in order, that the DPRs don't have to be returned to the department because of any deficiency. And that was particularly when a project has to be posted before Government of India for any consideration of sanction. He would personally assure, he will come and tell that he has personally looked at the whole DPR and there is no chance of the scheme being sent back with any queries. So that was the kind of focus that even as an officer, late S.K. Sunn had. It's been a privilege to have him as member of this August House, with his long innings of experience as an officer, the wealth of experience in administration, of very crucial, important department, public health engineering. And with the same zeal and passion, he took up issues here. We have all been a witness to that. Whenever he articulated issues on the matters that has been tabled by him in this August House, I would keenly listen to him, and my observation was that he would make submissions only on issues which is not just important for his constituency, but for larger good of the people as a whole. As a politician, I thought with the background of an officer, he might be a different politician. We have seen many officers joining politics and saying goodbye to politics because it's one of the toughest jobs. I was presuming and assuming at the initial stage that many officers have joined politics and have ultimately had disastrous career in politics. But as we saw late S.K. Sunn, we knew that he was going to be in this whole public service for a very long time. It is irony that his life has been cut short and he is no longer with us. I have always had the privilege to listen to him whenever he came up with issues, suggesting that some issues may be taken up in the larger good of the people and the state. In spite of him being in the ruling, he would engage, he would share, and also suggest on a number of critical issues as to how we can collectively address those concerns of the people. The passion, the commitment, the dedication with which he has worked has definitely made a mark in the history of Meghalaya. Let S.K. Sunn will be remembered for a long, long time, not only by the electorates who have elected him, but will be remembered by all of us for a long, long time. And I'm sure it must be really a difficult time for the electorates and the family. My prayers are for the family, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I convey our heartfelt condolences through you once again to the members of the Pyrto family and to the electorates of the constituency, to his loved ones and to the relatives. And I conclude by praying that the Almighty God in heaven shall provide the strength, the solace and fortitude to the members of the family. And I sincerely pray that the departed soul of late S.K. Sunn remain in an eternal peace. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, sir, I resume my seat.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I also would like to join with the Leader of the House as well as the Leader of Opposition in sharing my grief and sorrow with the sudden demise of our colleague, whom we used to fondly call him Ba Deng Sunn. Sir, if I recall correctly, the term of 2018 is very unfortunate to this August House. 5 honorable members we lost with a span of 3.5 years. And during my tenure as MLA, I think this is the first time it ever happened. So, though, humanly speaking, there is no conclusion, but spiritually speaking, I think we should think of, and I'm sure Almighty will ultimately be with all the members of this August House till the end of this term. Sir, I received the saddest information at around 5:30 when I was out of station, when I was on the way back to Delhi. I received a call that Ba Deng S.K. Sunn was no more. Still, I did not believe. Then after some times, Honorable Chief Minister, he called me up again and he said, we lost our friends. I remember before he died, I think 12 days back, he came to my room and we discussed few important issues relating to the developmental activities concerning to his constituency. And thereafter I asked him, but then, have you given vaccination? He smiled, he looked at me and he said, no, ba, I have not. So I requested, can you please go and give your vaccination? He said, yes, very soon I'm going to do that. But the 10th evening, I was really shocked. And not only that, the 10th evening, I asked my DHS to personally go there because the way he died, it was symptomatic. So when the report came out after a few hours, unfortunately, he was declared dead due to COVID-19. Sir, this is beyond our control, beyond our thoughts. We have really lost him. And not only that, in fact, Sunn, I had an opportunity to associate with him when I was looking after PhD department for a long, long time. I've seen how he works. He hardly sleeps. And I would like to place on record, when you go back to the history of Greater Shillong Water Supply Scheme, I should say it was because of him, Greater Shillong Water Supply Scheme is functioning well till today. He was the master brain. He never slept that time. He has contributed a lot in sports sectors. He has his own team promoting our talented youths, and not only in sports, socially, he has contributed a lot to the state and especially to his area. That's why 2018 he won. He was elected as the member of this August House. So, sir, I don't want to prolong much. I would like to share my grief, my sorrow, my deepest condolences goes to the bereaved family, to his wife, his children, and to his people of constituency. And I'm sure God knows better. Maybe he will bring in again somebody to replace Baden Sunn. So, sir, with these few words, I pray that God will give him eternal peace forever. With these few words, sir, I resume my seat.
Since there's no more members to participate, I also rise to join the leader of the House, the leader of the opposition, honorable members of the House, and I would like to thank all those members who have participated in this obituary references to late Senator Sunn. When I was coming back from Boilumbong on the first day of the session, after the session rise, after I attended my visit to one of the staff of our office who passed away, I got a call I think maybe I am the first one to receive a call from one of his closest friend of Sunn. I don't know, I just had some instinct at that point of time before he told me about his demise. Even then, he was not convinced for me to believe that Sunn was no more. I asked him again, and he said, yes, Badeng was no more. It was really a very shocking moment for me. I was with one of my officers in my car, and we were shocked to hear and to believe that news. Even then, it was not convincing me to inform other members that Badeng passed away. Then I asked one of my friends, please call and find out whether true is not or not. Then after I got a call from my friend, I was convinced at that point of time that yes, Sunn was no more. In fact, today is the day that we're going to take up the pending motion moved by Palet S.K. Sunn regarding the boundary issues. But it was already listed in the business of the day. But we have to remove this motion since this member of the House was no longer with us. This is the first time that the sitting member of this House passed during the ongoing sessions. As far as my information is concerned, which was also endorsed by most of the senior leaders of this House since 1972. Sunn is a man of focus. He always a man of research. I always observe, especially when I'm sitting here, that whenever any questions or resolutions or motions taken up by him, as mentioned by most of the members during the speech, that he always comes up with facts and figures. And I've come across some ministers that most of the information I'm getting from Sunn, because he always ensures that he does his homework well before coming to the House or before putting up any questions or resolution or motion. To me, I feel that his contribution, his debates, his points, always in a very constructive way. He always shows his concern about his people of his constituency. He always brings up issues which will be of great help to the people of his constituency. But yes, he is not a constituency-centric person. In a very short span of time of just 3.5 years, he has contributed a lot. I'm sure that the government, through the Chief Minister, must have taken note about all the points raised by him. Sometimes The government might feel that he raised too many questions, too many points. But at the end of the day, when it comes to governance, one has to accept the facts and the truth. We have lost this great leader. And as members, chairman of different committees in the assembly, he always takes the things very seriously and very sincerely. One of the committee that he was the chairman of the Environment Committee, he submitted a report. He brought me a pen drive of the drone shots to those locations and sites where he has visited. It was such a detail, which I feel, for me also, a big learning. I wish Baring Sud is still here during this entire time. But things are not in our hands. It's Almighty who knows well about his demise. His contributions were immense and will be remembered in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. Most of the points, most of the speeches, most of the suggestions have been already spoken by all the members of this August House. For me at this moment, I, on behalf of the members of this August House, would like to send our deepest condolences to his wife, his children, and all his family members. May God grant them strength, comfort them, and solace in this time of grief. We pray that Almighty will be with them in all the days to come. And we also pray that the soul of this tall leader rests in eternal peace. Honorable members, as a mark of respect to late S.K. Sunn, let us stand to observe a 2-minute silence. Please be seated.